Okay, so I talked about Persona Waifus briefly in my last Wasted Potential, and so I figured I'd make this companion piece to kind of delve a bit more into that. So I was going to use this one. This one's pretty good. It's got some cool artwork they found of the characters. Very nice, cute cheer there. Love Avahegao. Pretty decent work. Nice name. But there is one major flaw with this. I don't know what the criteria was for which characters made it on here, but it doesn't include Marie. It has the weird child-looking motherfucker. It has these actual children, but it doesn't have Marie. And I can't be having that. You can't have a Persona waifu list without Marie on there. And so I'm going to be using this one instead. This one has more characters, some of which I'm not that familiar with. Like I never played, for example, Persona 3 Portable. So this character I'm pretty sure is exclusive to that, and I think this one too. So I've got nothing on them. These aren't the categories that were originally in it. I made them myself. Best Girl, which is for not necessarily the absolute best. It's just for a selection of characters that are the best of the best. Top tier is characters who are pretty much up there, but not necessarily the best. Good, obviously just ones who are, you know, they're good. Don't care is ones we've got basically nothing to say about, and then you got the bad ones, and then you have fucking trash, which is for the, obviously, the worst of the fucking worst. So, for example, I would put, well, these going don't care, where here she is. I don't really know anything about them, so I've got nothing to say about them at all. This character, I have no strong opinions one way or the other. For an example of Best Girl, I mean, there's Elizabeth and Kawakami, obviously. I mean, if anyone who doesn't put them in the top category, they are stupid, and every opinion they have about anything can be immediately disregarded because they are goddamn idiots. Okay, now, next we have Naoto. Let's just make the list complete. For me, these are the best three from each of their respective games. Elizabeth is just hilarious, especially when you start going into the spin-offs. Like, she's the highlight of the Persona 3 dancing game. Naoto is just cool, has a good dress sense. You know, she's not trans. Shut the fuck up, idiots. Play the game. You can buy it on Steam. Buy it on Steam and play it. Then talk about it, you fuck. Then you have Kawakami, who is just probably my favourite in the whole series. But if there was like a Best Girl of Best Girls tier just above that, she would be on that. You can't top her. Now I'm going to say I never really liked that character. You know, I don't really like the characters who are just like self-centered and stuck up and kind of asshole shit. Yes, you know, there's more to her than that, but I don't care, you know? I mean, I'll say one thing, she at least has more layers to her than the absolute worst, and everyone knows who the absolute worst is. Haha, I bamboozled you. You thought I was going to go, haha, you can't have a list without Marie because she's so good. No, she's trash. Get in the bin. Trash. Know your fucking place, trash.
Know your fucking place, trash.
And then we have top tier. These two are top tier. The funny thing with Persona 4 is I've actually gone through phases where I've viewed each of the female party members as the best. Originally it was Yukiko, then it was Rise, then Chie, and currently it's Naoto. It might change, or I might have just completed my story arc and have just basically gone through like the list and reached the truth. I reached out to the truth and realised that Naoto was Best Girl all along. Let's see. I never much cared for her either. I barely remember her name. I even talked about it in the video, and I struggle to remember her name. And granted, I don't think I said her name, but, you know, I edited footage with her name in it, and I'm pretty sure, and I don't remember what she's called, because I don't fucking care about her. This character's kind of nothing. She's fine. I imagine if they ever remake P3, she'll probably be romanceable. I reckon they would do that. But, yeah. I will say, see, some of these are going to depend on what part of the series you're talking about, particularly with the P3 girls. Like, if you're talking about Fuka, she's kind of naff in P3 itself. But then, when you get into some of the later stuff, oh, she's actually really cute. Of course, a big part of that's going to be that her being let down by her voice acting, which was kind of trash. But I'll say she goes down as a good character, just because there is at least a point in the series where she is an enjoyable character. If you're talking about just characters based on their lowest points, some of these characters, like when you really get down to it, Kawakami's just kind of an asshole early on. Understandably, but she's an asshole who doesn't want anything to do with the main character, and then she's kind of trying to scam him out of money in a way. So she wouldn't be up there. You know, if you got to like rank 2 of her confidant and stopped, yeah, you'd probably put her in fucking trash. But no, when you realise she's way better than that, that's what qualifies her for Best Girl God tier. I'm gonna say Yukari is another example because Persona 3, she's a bit of an asshole, but she's likable. Then you get to the answer and they fucking ruined her. Then you go into like the later stuff where they were like, okay, so here she is as an actress in Neo Featherman, and then here she is in these other games that are set during P3 before the answer ruined her. So it's like, yeah, before and after, she is a better character. She's like probably the pinnacle of she would be in fucking trash if you're going off the lowest point of the character. Because, wow, I mean, it says a lot that I don't think the answer has ever been adapted. I don't think there was a manga version. It wasn't in the anime movies, they could have easily done one more anime movies in epilogue based on the answer. It wasn't in Persona 3 Portable, and if they ever do remake P3, or it won't come back. And the only way that's ever going to get another release is if either they completely redo it in a remake as DLC or a second release, or if they port the FES version to Steam, because then it's like, well, why would you just remove that? You may as well keep it in. It'd be more work to take it out. And you know what Atlas is like when it comes to doing work? Nah, mate. Let's get another... See, the thing about Aegis is, I think she qualifies for Best Girl too, because among the party of P3, I would say she is the best. She's so fucking cute. Now, the thing is, my opinion does change every now and then between her and Mitsuru, so... Okay, I'll say this. She and Mitsuru both qualify for top tier because my view on those two changes so often. Like, sometimes Aegis is better because she's so cute and funny, especially in the dancing game. She has some of the best lines in that. You know, Mitsuru, you can just look at her and go, yeah, she's great. But because my view does change between the two so often, I do think that neither one really qualifies for Best Girl, because I feel like Best Girl is a case of this character is undisputably the best one, or is it indisputably? I'm not sure. See, that would qualify for top tier because I don't know which is which, and I'll go back and forth between them. So because you can't say for sure this character is the best or this character is the best, they can't be in first place, so they have to share second, if that makes any sense. Meanwhile, I would say Anne. So you've gone through a bit of a phase with P5 where, similar to 4, I have gone through different characters thinking they're the best one. I think when I initially saw the game, Futaba just looked really cool, but then it became clear that Makoto is better. But then I settled on Anne because Anne's just way cuter and just more fun to be around. And I seriously doubt I'm actually going to go on to another phase in which I see Haru as the best. I was hoping they might do a bit more with her in the Royal to make up for the fact that she joined so late and has so little time to develop. I mean, when I first played the game, the original, I got maybe 3 ranks into her confidant because the requirements to even start it are so high, despite the fact she joined so late. They really shot themselves in the foot there. I think the only reason I was able to get as far through her confidence as I did in Royal was because I was better prepared for it, had a better idea of what answers to give and how better to manage my time, and I was following a guide. So I don't dislike her, and she is cute, but I don't have any real strong feelings about her. Compared to Futaba, who is really good. No, she qualifies for top tier. I'll say that. She definitely qualifies for top tier. Because her arc is interesting, she really does change quite a lot. It does get frustrating when she's just constantly making all these gamer references. Like, yes, we get it. Like, it's shocking how, when you think about the most out-of-touch depictions of video game players, it's the ones that are actually in video games by people who make video games. They're the most out of touch, and I don't understand why. Almost every goddamn word out of her mouth in the spin-offs is some gamer reference. It's like, just, we get it, just shut the fuck up. Anne qualifies for best. I do prefer Kawakami overall, but Anne is really good, so I put her up there. I might end up changing this depending on how everything's distributed, because it might look a bit weird if there are 4 best girls. I might limit it to just 1 per game, but yeah. Now, as for Yukiko and Risei, I talked about it before how I have gone through periods of thinking they are the best, and that has changed. I'd say they're both good. I don't dislike either of them. Both can be a bit annoying. You know, Yukiko with her laugh bullshit and Risei just constantly fawning over you, and it's frustrating. Actually, this kind of raises the point. There was another of these tier lists I saw that was the best girls from P5, and it had all the girls and Ryuji. And I'm like, yes. So why doesn't this one have any of the boys? What, do Ryuji and Yosuke not qualify for best girl just because they're not girls? That is horribly sexist. Now I'm going to place Sai up here. She's also top tier, especially when she smiles. Because I've recently come to the conclusion that of all the Persona 5 girls, Sai has the nicest smile. Like, when I look at it, it's infectious. It's a powerful smile. Now, here's one where things are going to get a bit controversial with regards to these characters. Because I think the general consensus is that Hifumi is top tier, if not outright best girl. I don't care for her, to be honest. I don't know, I just don't really care for her. She just was never that interesting to me. And that's got nothing to do with the fact that her voice actress is also Marie. I don't hold that against her. I mean, come on, if we're looking at it that way, Oh my god, I forgot to move Yukari off. Oh god, I forgot to move her out of fucking trash. I didn't mean to put her as an example, but I guess I got sidetracked and then just moved on and forgot. Yeah, she's good. She's fine. But yeah, so if I was going to hold voice actors against them, that would mean that Kawakami would have to come down to good, if not lower, because she and Yukari are both voiced by Michelle Ruff. And what I find amusing about that is that there is a scene in which Yukari has a maid outfit on, and it is voice acted. I'm like, haha, that's funny, considering what this character's voice actor would then be doing later in this franchise. Haha. But yeah, back to the whole point about the controversial thing. A lot of people really dislike Oya, and honestly, I don't see it. I do not get it. I mean, I wouldn't call her like top tier or anything, but she's at least good. And she has honestly, I think she's got one of the better designs in the game. I genuinely don't understand why people hate her. It's such a bizarre thing. Then you have Chihaya, who, okay, as a character, she's kind of nothing, but she's also really useful when it comes to confidant abilities. And yeah, I do think that confidant and social link abilities are worth including in this, which is another reason why Kawakami would be the best, because she has by far the best abilities. Yeah, you get extra time slots to do stuff. You can't top that. Now, Chihaya is a fairly close second in that because she can boost your relationships. And there were a few times when I had to do one of those readings and it did allow me to level up my relationship with the character during that time slot, which I wouldn't have been able to otherwise. That is really useful. That is a great power. So she gets to be good, even though without that ability, she'd probably be in Don't Care. Although I do think she's quite cute in her design and the way she very rarely goes into her natural accent. They should have done more with that. I have no fucks to give about this character. See, some of these are characters I don't even know the names of. Oh yeah, actually, and her counterpart in the other club, she's not on this version. Like that is her, right? Or am I mistaken? So this one seems to have some standards when it comes to the age of the characters. Yeah, if it's a child, you'll notice that there's no Lavenza and there's no Caroline and Justine. So, Orgny97, good on you. You have standards. Ty's up here. She's very good. I think when it comes to the characters, P5 has a lot of the best ones. I think we're going to look at the cast of each game overall. 5 probably has the best cast. Definitely when it comes to waifus, probably also when it comes to characters in general. Of course, the others have some stellar characters too. Wouldn't it be nice if we could swap out characters? Like we could take this character and trade her away to get this character or this character, and then P5 would be the greatest game of all time. No fucks to give. I mean, she has a unique design, if nothing else. I'm pretty sure that's a tan. She might be mixed race. I'm not sure, but I think that's just a thing that's often done with sporty characters. At least now it is. I've noticed that there's more tanned characters in manga that I've read or anime that I've seen. So maybe that's a thing that's picking up some steam. I don't know. Metis, I don't really care. You know, there's not much to her, really. I think it's just unfortunate because she's associated with the answer. The best we're going to get from her in the future is, I think Aegis has a recolor in the arena games based on her, and that's as far as it's going to go, which is unfortunate. I think the dancing game should have at least given her a costume of Metis. Or maybe it did because I never got the DLC for that, so maybe I'm just missing out. I don't really care about for the P3 portable female protagonist. She's fine, but by virtue of being the protagonist of a Persona game, she's kind of a blank slate. She gets more to do in Persona Q2, and there's a good story there where she's from another universe, and so she meets her friends again, but they're from the universe with the male character, and so they don't recognize her. And that's a cool concept. Although I think it could have been more interesting if they had plucked about half the P3 cast from that universe too. Then you have more of those interactions. So here's a version of Yukari and a version of Junpei who are like, you're similar, but you're also a bit different to the one in my world. And Yukari's like, I was hoping you'd be less of a dick. Then my Junpei is like, that's harsh, Yucatan. I don't really care for Margaret either, to be honest. Sorry. Her name's Elizabeth. You guys remember that? Fucking remember when fucking MatPat was doing a theory about Persona 4 and he called Margaret Elizabeth? Like, dude, come on. Really? Really now? That's what we're doing here? God damn it, MatPat. You fucking fool! And that leaves us with just these two. The nurse, whose name I don't remember. But I like her. I mean, I can't really put her any higher than that because, you know, I feel like if you were to put a character in say, top tier or best girl and you don't remember the character's name, that's not a good look. I'm going to put this character in best girl. I can't say anything about her, but she's got a boring, generic look, and that's good enough for me. I'd say Toriyumi is also top tier. It's funny, you know. It shows the difference in approach, I guess, when it comes to the primary teachers. You know, because 3 and 5 have ones who... Well, 3 is one who's, I guess, a bit... just kind of standard teacher, but then you go below the surface and you're like, oh, she's actually really fun. Then you have the P5 teacher, and you look at it and say, she's kind of an asshole. I mean, my first seeing the opening hours of the game, my assumption was that she would be one of the palace rulers. Because, I mean, the first one is Kamoshida, and then you got this other teacher who's kind of an asshole, so you think, oh, you're going to go through all the different teachers who are assholes. Nope, luckily not, because, although that could have been interesting, if they'd made it that some of the characters who you hang out with have their own little mini palaces. That could be interesting. So a little mini palace for like a Shadow Kawakami or a Shadow Mishima, and you have to beat them to change their heart. That could have been an interesting idea, but you know, it's fine they didn't. I'm not going to say wasted potential on that. That's just an idea I have. But yeah, then you go to the P4 teachers, and they're both horrible people. Once there's a huge cunt who gets himself murdered, and haha, no one's going to miss King Moron. And then you have the other teacher who she's so fucking thirsty, but no one's going to offer her some water. It goes back to that meme image. Persona then shows that Kashiwagi, I think her name was, from P4. It's like, man, fuck my teacher. Then it's like Persona now, Kawakami, I want to fuck my teacher. you know, they're not wrong. So, how accurate would I say this is, or representing me? Best girls. These 4. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate. Again, these 2 do deserve to be in the best girl tier. Unfortunately, because I can't pick one over the other, and it changes so often, I can't really qualify either as to go number 1 on the podium. They have to share number 2, alongside Toriumi, who is really fun. Chie, who's very close to being best girl. Like it's one of those where if Naoto wasn't in the game, Chie would be there'd be no contest. The uncontested best girl of the game. But because Naoto exists, unfortunately she's going to have to settle for second place. But it's a very high second place, very close to being number 1. Chie is very good, very, very fun, except when the spin-offs make it go on about meat all the time. Yes, we get it. She enjoys eating meat. You know, that's one of the frustrating things with the spin-offs is, let's boil the characters down to one personality trait. Akihiko? Yeah, protein. Protein all the time. Lemons also. What? Then you have Makoto, Futaba, Tai, and Sai. Again, P5 had a very good selection of characters. I think looking at this, it kind of gives off the impression that P4 had a weaker selection. But I think it just has less characters. At least less girls overall. You know, and P3 has the benefit of like an expansion and another port and that, whereas 5 is just primarily waifus for the confidants. So it's not that 4 has a worse cast than the others, it's just that there's less girls to choose from there, and sometimes they look too young, so they get cut like her counterpart. But that happened with 3 as well. There's that little girl who got cut. Also, Nanako isn't on this. Good, fucking good. If someone put Nanako on a waifu list, they deserve to die. Find them and destroy them, or give them a change of heart. There's one. The Phantom Thieves are gonna give a paedophile a change of heart. I bet that exists somewhere as a fan fiction. And the paedophile is probably a real person, and probably someone who isn't actually a paedophile, but the author chooses to believe they are. And this is just dragging on for too long, so I'm just gonna good. Yeah, good selection. Are any of these close to being top tier? No, I don't think any of them are close to being a tier higher. If any of them was close to being a tier lower, it would be Chihaya, I forget her name all the time. I'm constantly forgetting her name because she's not that memorable, but she has a really good ability that's quite useful. Otherwise, she'd be in don't care. Are any of these close to the edge of going up or down? I guess Haru, because she is cute, but even after Royal, I just don't really care about her one way or the other, unfortunately. Then you have bad. I'm surprised there weren't more bad, but I guess because the game itself, the don't care option, like if I didn't have don't care at all, then I guess Haru would be in good, Hifumi would be in good. I'd probably put Margaret in there in the P3 female protagonist, and I guess Yuko as well, and the rest were just going bad. But bad is just for the ones who are actually bad, and then we have fucking trash. And so, like I said, a Persona waifu tier list or a Persona character tier list, either way, it's not complete if you don't have Marie on there, because it's not enough to ignore Marie. Like, ignoring her doesn't fix the problem. You have to include her on there and be open and acknowledge the fact that she is a trash tier waifu. She is the worst character in the series. You can't just pretend she doesn't exist, because that's just ignoring the problem. You have to acknowledge the problem and let people know that Marie is in fact fucking trash, and that if someone likes Marie, they too are fucking trash, and their opinions and taste are fucking trash, and they deserve to go and lie in the fucking trash. One last thing I'd like to say about this is I have seen tier lists that have all the characters from the Persona games, which even includes 1 and 2, which is quite rare. But there aren't any waifu ones that include those characters. I think someone should make one of those. I'm not going to do it. I can't be asked. But I'd like if someone made one of those. Oh, actually, I just thought... Oh, and also include the Persona Q characters. Why? I don't know why they don't make it on. I mean, you may as well include them. I mean, if you're going to put fucking Caroline and Justine on the, you know, the children, you have to put the spin-off waifus on there. But a character who is missing from this waifu list, because presumably this was made before Royal, is Yoshizawa. If I was to put Yoshizawa on here, she would be in... Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd say... I have to put her in Don't Care, just because it's kind of the middle ground between good and bad. Because she's a good character, it's just her implementation was bad. You know, it goes back to what I was saying in the Wasted Potential, that Atlas is really bad about integrating the new material, which is partly what makes Marie such an egregious piece of trash. I like the character of Yoshizawa. She's not that well integrated, and the game really pushes her as if she's the love interest. Not as bad as they did with Marie. It seems like they may have learned a lesson, at least a bit from that, but, you know, I do think that Yoshizawa, she's a fine character, and if she had been in the game by default, or if they'd put her in and toned down a lot of the scenes with her, would have been fine. You know, be less obnoxious about pushing this new character, or at least move that stuff into the end game. You know, I don't need to spend this much fucking time with her. I don't need these many contrived reasons for her to show up. Just move that stuff to the end of the game when she's actually relevant to the plot, and then have her be the focus there. That would have been better, but unfortunately, they fucked it up. But this is Atlas, so what do you expect? Oh god, could you imagine? Could you fucking... I mean, they're making changes to the SMT3 Switch port, because the trailer has voice acting, which suggests there's going to be full voice acting for this game, like a proper voice cast. And I think that was Ray Chase as Hikawa. Beautiful. But imagine if they started to add more stuff to it. Like, imagine if they added a new ending. They added a new character, a new human who survived the apocalypse and develops their own reason, and it's a fucking waifu. And the game keeps having her show up more often than the other characters, more often than even your character's two best friends show up. And it's like, bruh, this character, she's the one, she's the waifu. You gotta go after her ending. And it's like, I don't want to. All the reasons are shit. Fuck all these guys. I'm gonna be a real OG and I'm gonna go and fight God. Because they're the best endings, where your character's gonna go and fight God. But yeah, Modern Atlas, I think at the very least we're going to get Persona costumes in the game or as DLC. I seriously doubt we're not going to get a Joker costume for the Demi-Fiend. And not just because Joker got a Demi-Fiend costume in the dancing game, also just because Persona 5 was such a hit, you know Atlas is going to bank on that and do some Persona shit. Maybe even put Arsene in as a demon you can find, and or Joker as a boss fight. Joker just arrives through a portal, and it's like, oh shit, here's this demon-looking motherfucker. Guess I'd better fight him, which admittedly is one of the less egregious things they could do, because they did do that in past games. You know, like Demi-Fiend was in Digital Devil Saga as a boss. Even though he's not part of that story, that's a whole other universe, and he just shows up because that was the trend. That wasn't paid DLC like it is in Royal. So I'm worried about Nocturne, because Nocturne / Lucifer's Call is a really good game. And I'd like some more accessibility features from the newer games, like other difficulties and stuff like that, but I do seriously worry about what they're going to do with this game. Because Atlas is... I mean, Jesus Christ, guys. Just give us a fucking confirmation, one way or the other, about the Musou game. God damn it.